Hey everyone, it's Ross. Welcome to Season 2, Adventures in the Void Spacecast. This season we're talking about independent and folk science fiction tabletop role-playing games. The following is an actual play of the original Starfaring role-playing game, Classic Traveller, by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. So get your vac suit on, your sidearm ready, and prepare to exit jump space. We've got money to make and worlds to explore, and we hope you'll join us on these adventures. Out here on the Imperial Fringe, it's just us veterans of the Fifth Frontier War keeping the space lanes moving. Free traders like us, still willing to evade the pirates, the terrorists, the zealots, the criminals. They prey on these war-torn ruins of 100 worlds. They call us travelers. We aren't liked, but we're needed. We use our skills we learned in the service to operate starships and earn a buck. We ain't looking for trouble, but it always finds us. When it does, it'll find us ready. First things first, as usual, I can't access my dice tray, so I'm gonna... By the way, I put a new dice tray in the bottom right in the chat if you prefer that one. But I'm gonna roll a D2. And I got a 1. I feel like this is manifestly unfair. But once again, Alex...
The captain would have ordered me to do it anyway.
That's... yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit beyond just the most recent session, so that
I appreciate that.
Contextualize the greater part of where we're at.
Yeah.
We are we're brought out to the planet Raleigh, which used to be, as we're told, some kind of economic powerhouse, and now it is in real rough shape, like a constant war zone, all kinds of strife, poverty, that sort of thing. We figured this is a good place that we could have sold some cargo, and also we had passengers that wanted to go there, specifically a humanitarian aid organization called the, what is it, Red Sun or something along those lines? Yes, the Red Sun. And things did not go great. We ran into all sorts of trouble. Some of those folks that were in the Red Sun did not end up getting finding what they were expecting. As a matter of fact, the local government of the planet seems to have recently been overthrown or replaced or usurped or something along those lines. And there is a presence of a different, more zealous religious organization there called the the Church of Stellar Divinity. Orange Sunburst was their symbol. So it looked like it might have been bust, but we got work with a corporation called Nanteri. Former traveler made contact with us and offered us a job to go kill a space Viking. We tried doing that. Instead, we found ourselves doing business with space Vikings. And our most recent adventure was helping a space Viking captain named Jorgelson get back his ship and crew that had previously mutinied against him, but had splintered into a bunch of different factions. That was our most recent session, was kind of wrangling all of the different politics of those factions. Until finally we were able to get the ones who would have been loyal to him back working together. The mercenaries we paid off just out of our own pockets, and then the ones that we couldn't bargain with, we dealt with them by other means, including our captain doing a one-on-one duel with the leader of the most zealous group among them. And as payment for helping him to get his ship back, Bjorgelson gave us a big gun for our ship so that we can finally defend ourselves against pirates and other such
Promise
threats.
of a big gun.
Promise of a big gun. So now that the Red Sun has nothing that they can actually do here because their imperial contract to do humanitarian work was canceled seemingly, and we got what we wanted out of this place, we had talked to them about letting them hitch a ride to some other star port somewhere, so they can figure out what they're actually going to do with themselves while we try to get out of Dodge. Unfortunately, the first time we tried to leave this planet, we almost got arrested because the planetary authority said that we had been associating with terrorists. I think that's where we're at. We haven't yet left the planet. I need to figure out how exactly we're going to do that.
Yeah, so here you are, and among the various fractured city states or nation states on the planet of Raleigh, you've got the Free League Wastes with their various bandit kings and the irradiated wasteland. You have the ICZ Iterate Control Zone, the Imperial Colony, um, and then you have Golan, the kind of neo-capitalist arms dealing, kind of high rise, white collar, uh, capital of industry and business. These things all operate very differently from one another on this planet. And fortunately for you, you do find a place to land, which you need to just do some basic checks. After having left the that wasteland you were in one of the bandit kingdoms. And among the Free League wastes, you find two veterans of the Marine Joint Task Force, and a ship heading out. And so Marcello and Shipley decide they need a break, and they head out, to blow their money. Presumably to go back to Startown Liberty or somewhere like that for a while and lay low. So you take them on, and here you are on the ship, flying in the atmosphere. We forgot to mention one of the important characters, Captain Bellamy. If you would please tell us about your ship.
Well, the Lady of Mercia is a well, that's a picture of a far trader, but we are instead a free trader. Just
I can't get the. Let me see if I can. I can't get the. Here we go.
Yep.
That's what
Classic
I
Type A. Jump 1. Nice fat cargo hold that we've never filled. Um, and not much more to say about it. We do have. Well, it's a Type A free trader, so that means an upper and lower deck, 82 ton, I think, or 83 ton cargo hold. Although a couple of those tons are taken up by housing a cannon, not a ship gun, but just we picked up a
a literal cannon.
We picked up
and
a
just
ballistic cannon
rammed
for
it
ourselves
in the cargo bay.
We can kind of turn into a makeshift AC-130 if we have to. But other than that, there's not too much fancy to say about the ship. At the moment, though, it's filled with people. We've got all those Imperial Red Sun people still on board, and with nothing to do with them, and they're just sucking up life support. We're in a pretty dire situation, actually. We had to shell out big time to pay off those mercenaries, and while that bought us, at least ostensibly, a steeply discounted software package for the gun that Bjorgulfsson promised us, we have neither the gun nor the software until we get, as I say, 5 jumps away from where we are right now, to Bowman itself. So, but it's home, and we've got a dog, and her name is Lady.
And we have a dog lady, and her name is Lothar.
Yes. And they don't like each other.
Oh no, I imagine not. Interesting.
I'm really sorry, Coleman. I cannot get your token. I made a mistake with your token. Let me see if I can fix it real fast. But I may not be able to. You're good. I have to just be somebody else as far as a token for a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll get both art pieces fixed for next time. So here you are. You're flying in the atmosphere, having just departed the Free League wastes. What is?
We do have fuel.
And you do have fuel. Yeah, I remember you got that before you did all these operations, and you only flew in atmosphere for a matter of hours. This has taken the better part of a day. What I do is I just I call it tossing the ball. So I toss the ball around for everybody, and when I do, and you get it, feel free to make a decision if it's minor, or to voice your opinion if it's a big decision for the group. So top of the round, I've got Chapman. What do you think? Got everybody on board. You've just left this bandit kingdom. You're in the atmosphere of Raleigh. You haven't departed yet.
I say it's time to get out of here, leave this planet. I don't think we have any further business tying us down. And I don't mind if we don't go out the door we came in. If it's possible to just fly up until we escape Atmo, I'm okay with that. If we run into Imperial authorities later, we can explain ourselves then.
You know, what I'm thinking about that we didn't talk about or think about last time, because we were so happy to be done with it, but we got nothing in the cargo hold. And we can't go to semi-official channels because we're not welcome back at the spaceport. They'll try to arrest us. But is it worth trying to find something on this godforsaken rock
Okay.
to sell? I'm just throwing that out there. If we don't, we're going to be real short, and we might all have to.
Would you rather scavenge or pirate something from the Free League wasteland, or get some illegitimate cargo from Golan?
Golan, we can't go back to. Well, maybe we can.
Would that be under? I don't know if the warrant would be out for us there.
Well, it's them we have to blame for our situation, or at least it's that company, Niemeyer, Neiman, Marcus.
Terry?
And Terry. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we were about to get going and everything, but doggone it, if we don't have money, I mean, we had enough money to make our next payment until we paid off those mercs, and now we don't. So we got to make that payment before we get to where we're going to get the gun that we paid mercs off to get. So sometime between here and Bowman, we got to make that payment, and we're not going to do it with empty cargo holds. So I guess, I mean, I'm a little afraid of Golan because of the way they kind of, jerked us around a lot. And Terry,
Right, so...
but I mean, maybe there's other companies there that have things that need to go, or maybe we can just call that guy up again and say, hey, you got any cargo that needs moving?
So all this happens in character.
Yeah.
So, so Niall and Coleman, you get a gig on this ship. I don't know why you're there. Maybe it's related to your gambling. You can tell me later. But you were in a pretty crappy place. Raleigh is a balkanized world with an embattled imperial colony on it, but it's not even a client state. And otherwise, the various nations on Raleigh there's like a Mad Max-esque post-apocalyptic wasteland of what was once the Raleigh civilization, and then there's this industrial state that lives along the coast, or exists along the coast, called Golan. And you come onto the ship to agree to be paid at least traveler pay rate or the payout of a job, whichever's higher. And here you are, and they're like, oh, we're going to get arrested, and we can't land here, and you hear all this. So, I just toss you the ball. What do you all think?
Well, I mean, I think, as I said, he's been drifting since the war, and I think he found himself in a bad way on this planet, and is kind of like, happy to see, fellow veterans from the war and get off of this place. So, while he's not thrilled with the idea of, being a fugitive, it beats being a fugitive on the planet. So, and I suspect he might have had some,
All right.
gambling run-ins.
So they're talking about going back into one of the places where they've had, some conflict. Niall, what do you think? To get good so they can make money, because they're
Now
gonna
the
not be able
first
to pay their
question.
bills.
Now his first question is the warrant because you killed someone?
No.
Let's just cut to the chase and say yes. Okay, that's the short version.
Did he deserve it?
Lothek
most
looks
certainly.
really nervous. Her ears are back, and she's just like,
They said it was
that's good
because we
enough
were
for me.
associating with these humanitarians. That's what they said when they tried to arrest us.
I just thought it was entirely trumped up. I didn't know that they had assigned terrorism to these humanitarians. Is that what happened?
at this
I,
point,
I actually rewatched the VOD for it when it happened.
Oh,
just to
I
make
missed that detail.
you're
Sorry.
flying
so
in, you're flying in the atmosphere and having this, conversation.
Yeah, I'm going in circles. Like that's a piloting. I mean, don't get me wrong. We associate with criminals and bad people. Like we're not better than we're made out to be, but it's
So
all
you
right.
found some extremist peaceful types? That's
well, they're right upstairs. They're
You hear a ring. You hear the signal for like what would be the steward's call signal, a ding. Like to say, hey, someone outside of the bridge wants to talk.
don't press the button.
At this, you hear a female voice. Captain, whenever you're ready, I would like to discuss what our next options are. And that's
great. We were just discussing that right now.
The
Why don't
voice
you head on down to the bridge, Isabella?
Very well. Isabella, a woman. She
Talk
has.
about scavenging in front of hers.
She's a woman that has like a slight frame, but otherwise a kind of a smock, I guess you would call it, like a kind of a long but tough lab coat-ish kind of thing, but it's black and it has the Imperial Sunburst symbol on it. And she says, "Oh, new friends. Hello, my name is Isabella. I'm from the Red Sun. What are we called entirely? The Red Sun Interstellar." You've never heard that.
Okay.
Well, Isabella, our problem is the same problem it's always been. Money. I don't suppose you've got a couple 100,000 stored upstairs anywhere?
I'm afraid I don't, Captain. I would understand if you simply drop us off at the next port. We'll make our way as best we can. But I did have a proposal I wanted to offer instead.
Wonderful.
Shall we do it here under flight, or should we sit for what I'm about to say?
We can all sit while we're flying. Chapman's already sitting.
She
at the flight console.
She shuffles uncomfortably while you're all in a bank, in the atmosphere. And she says,
I'll make it a smoother bank. I might straighten out a little bit. Not everyone having to brace themselves.
She says, "We are all felons and criminals of the Imperium. At least according to the barony of Iterati." She looks at like the new crew members and she says, "Now, I can't say that for you, but you are probably guilty by association since you have been hired contractually. I would like to propose, ultimately, that we work together. No, I do not have a couple of 100,000 credits, Captain, but I think that your crew could use, how do I put this? A liaison with various agencies. And I think that is something that Velez and I could be quite valuable.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because that was going to be my next... I was going to ask you to do just that, since I assume you're probably better at that than, mucking out Lady's cage.
Right. Yes. Well, we would try to help your crew as best we can, of course, but we're not spacefarers or travelers. We'll, but anything that you need of us, we'll try to pull our own weight, as the ancient saying goes.
I was really hoping that you would be a great witness for whatever authority we run into, because I assume you got some contacts in the Imperium that can disprove this nonsense.
I think that there are a couple of things that we face here. First of all, the current state of the Edirade control zone works in our favor. So I believe that it should buy you a few weeks at least of traveling through the Bowman Arm without your warrant and mine catching up to this vessel. But
That's great.
But once that happens, I suspect that that was a warrant, and we will be considered wanted criminals and fugitives. Before that happens, I would like to propose that we meet with a friend of mine, or an acquaintance, a former friend, an attorney.
We're never gonna get off this planet.
Oh no, he's not on this planet.
Where's he at?
Attorneys are expensive.
Flammarion.
Okay. Well, I think we were going to go through there or something. We did at least want to get paid a little bit of money for the small amount of survey work we've done. Perhaps, if anyone, in case you all forgot, we have a survey contract with the Scout Service.
I did forget.
Yep. Well, it's worth several thousand credits if we can actually get the work done. We were trying to do it back in Asteltine when we got waylaid by pirates and had to skedaddle.
I have good news and bad news out of character. What you've done on Rally definitely qualifies as survey work. So Walston and Rally, you have the survey data for. I don't think that could be said of any other world.
We spent a good amount of time on Squalia, but I guess that was where our survey got interrupted. I can't remember which system that was. It probably was Squalia.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's on Flammarion. Okay, well this is great. I mean, we'll take whatever we can get, I think. Right, Chapman?
I agree. If that's on the way anyway.
And well, here's the other problem. If you remember when we went through Debar last time, there was hardly anything available for sale. And we got to go through Debar to get wherever we're going.
Okay. So we could try picking something up while we're still here before we head out. I don't know how scavenging works. I've never done it before. Do you think we just fly over the wastelands and like just look around to see if anything shiny is on the ground and then we swoop in and take it?
You could do a salvage operation, and I would present a couple of options for that if you're interested. It would, however, in all honesty, constitute an adventure. You'd be landing the ship, disembarking, going on foot to find and evaluate things, and yeah, so we would have an adventure, and we'd be staying on Rally to do that.
Fill up our cargo to please the captain and make sure that we are able to pay our debts when the time comes.
The other option is also not great, to be honest with you. So you're in a bit of a pickle here, because the other option is to go to one of the bandit kingdoms, land on one of their unimproved areas. They're usually at a lower tech level, and then you need to find goods and use the speculative trading option and actually find goods among these warlords. And then, of course, you could go to Golan and you'd see what happens. Or you could try to penetrate the ICZ airspace.
We have 137,000 credits. And We have 183,000 due 116. What's the date today? Is it still?
It would come up, I think, in a 2 or 3 jumps. I can't remember, but yeah, it's
Okay. So it's still we're still at like 088 or 089.
I can look real quick because I know this.
Yeah.
You
The
are
date-
right. This matters. So
Yeah.
I'll look. Let's see. Traveler logs. It's down at the bottom. It comes due on 1/11/16, and that will be in 1, 2, 3 jumps. No, 4 jumps. That'll be in 4 jumps.
Okay. All right. It's not as much of a disaster as I'd feared, but it's going to become one soon. So anyway, I'll withdraw my urgency on the matter and say I agree with whatever sentiment it is that says we need to get off this rock.
So just so you all know, what happens if you can't meet your debts is a bounty hunter thing begins on that system, and the likelihood of it happening is more likely however close you are to that system. And I start rolling every time to see if a bounty hunter is showing up in space or on your ship or infiltrating your hold or things to try to take you out.
Right, so Captain, what we're thinking is leave now, hope and pray that Debar has something for us, but even if it doesn't, Flammarion's next. We have a lawyer to talk to there, and almost certainly better chances of having actual money-making opportunities.
Yeah, and we should take the time while we're at Debar, to do the survey. If I remember correctly, it's worth up to 10 or 12,000 per system.
It's 10,000 per system. I can't remember.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah. Let's hit the road. Let's get the computer calculating.
Isabella says, then for everyone, are we in a partnership then? Do we plan to work together so long as we bear the burden of this false accusation against us?
Agreed. Are all 10 of you still on board?
I wanted to propose that as soon as we arrived in Flammarion specifically, if we could borrow some money, I would like 8 of my companions to stay at Startown Liberty. They're only going to take up space and be endangered, but we
Agreed.
also...
We're going to pay passengers to get off our boat.
You know what? It's par for the course at this point.
All right, let's see. So you just head straight up and you get right out of the atmosphere and rally. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
I give Isabella fair warning to go strap in somewhere.
Oh, look at this cool map we drew. I forgot that. A little map of it here.
Yeah.
So you're like here in the Free League wastes, and this is the coastline, and you aim straight up. Sadly, I'm going to get rid of this beautiful map that we drew.
So, Major, are either of you experienced navigators?
Proficient. Yeah.
Yeah, as good as your average traveler.
Right, go ahead and rock, paper, scissors that one out, I guess.
Oh yeah, the crew position. That's right. You need a new navigator and a new comms officer for now.
We should put the Scotsman on the comms so no one can understand us.
Agreed.
Should be the Scotsman in the engineering section,
he can
obviously.
turn on the brogue if you want.
That sounds like a good negotiating
Let me
tool.
pull up my Scots translator.
Coleman, are you okay with navigation?
Sure.
Great. Okay. We'll get to those things very soon. All right. So you break atmosphere, and presumably you use your usual SOP and get in your vac suits and stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You get all the passengers stapled down in their bunks. You do the same in your seats as you escape gravity again. It takes you about 3 hours getting out into space.
During that time is when the calculations will be made.
I hope you boys have your space legs still. I know it might have been a while, but
I like my feet on the ground, but I'll get used to it.
It was time to leave, so yeah, it's not going to be too much of a problem.
Your passengers sure work themselves into a favorable position, though.
Well, none of us have much choice after everything that's happened.
So, I can't remember what I was going to
But
say.
you're not wrong.
Are those good sounds or bad sounds?
I'm worried he's rolling on random symbols.
The good sounds are it's both.
Because there's always a chance you run into something in space before you like get out to the point where you can do your jump transit, and I'm just like, come on, Russ, don't do this to us.
The best is when he says, "Oh no."
Or when he says, "I have a table for this."
You start making your way, and I cannot believe that this happened, but I rolled this. And let's see. I also need this chart. I told you there'd be some flipping for charts.
I
And
need
things here.
this chart.
I assume Coleman, on his very first ever jump calculation, accidentally zipped us right into an alternate dimension.
Safe jump. That's it. Okay, 10,000, and then you got to get to like. Trying to see. Can't remember. It's been a while since we've been in space. Been on a planet for a long time now. So I'm trying to find the minimum safe jump distance. But I think that it takes I think that you have to be close to 5 hours out at 1G for a minimum safe jump. And unfortunately, you make it about 120,000 kilometers out from orbit. Raleigh, as a reminder, is a binary star system. And within this system, this is the closest planet to the sun with no moons and no planetary belt. And you see something come up on the radar just as you you're rising straight up. You crest, so the planet's, what do you call it, horizon? It starts to, shift away from you. Let's see, I need this. It starts like this, and then it starts getting smaller and smaller. And then once it gets to about right there, something kind of bad happens. You get a call, and all of a sudden your multifunction display lights up, and an alarm goes off.
Who's on the comms?
I'm trying to find the. I guess I don't have it anymore.
I think it's me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The good thing is that you're not a known associate of the Lady of Mercia.
All right. Yeah, you're being hailed. At the same time, it's clear it's clear to, well, all of you. It's clear to Coleman, Nile, yeah, Bellamy, and Chapman that you're also being locked on with a laser weapon. What do you do?
Answer the comm.
I will, yeah, I guess, and, whatever hail they're sending, I'll answer.
All right, you open the comm and you receive a hail. Trader, Starship. Bring your engines to zero thrust immediately. Submit to boarding and surrender your cargo or die.
Joke's on you, we got no cargo.
Well, we'll just see about that.
Okay, let's cut it.
You cut the transmission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys feel like fighting? How big a ship is it?
No.
No, we let him on board, then kill him.
It is a,
Oh.
it is a cruiser.
Oh, no.
This is a, I rolled a pirate cruiser.
Oh, no. Nope. Time
This
to
is
go.
one
We
of
got
the ships that probably, this is a small fry. Like, they're probably pretty hungry if they're picking on you. Because they can pick on a lot bigger things than this. They probably go toe to toe with the Navy at times.
We got to jump.
Just want to make the jump right here, right now.
It's literally our best option, in my opinion.
It will be a dangerous jump
curious,
with a
Ross.
high chance of misjump. But go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what is the risk when you're not a good 5 hours out? What happens if you make a risky jump?
If you make and I found it. You are within 10 diameters of this world, so you, if you roll a 3 or above on a 2d6, you misjump to a random location in space.
You say random location in space. There's a lot of space. How far?
It'll be 1 parsec in a random direction somewhere. So
Gotcha.
it could literally be like in dead black.
Yeah, that could be a death sentence.
All right.
In fact, there's a 4 and 6 chance that it will be.
Army strategists, the spacers are trying to calculate their options as this pirate cruiser zeroes in and demands that you lower your thrust before it vaporizes you. What do you think?
So we have no hard cargo. We have people, right? We have passengers. Is that correct?
Yeah, you have 10 passengers.
Can we dress them as crew? I mean, I feel like we'd probably be well over the crew requirements of a ship this size, right? Is there any way that we can? I mean, like, how do we enhance your claim that we have no cargo?
They will want to join. They'll want to board your ship and verify it.
Captain, what do you feel about letting them on, take a look around, see we have nothing, and betting on their goodwill and nature to let us go?
Niall is just rubbing his metal hand along the edge of his blade, making sure it's like sharpened.
Yeah. They're gonna take the ship.
Yeah.
So we either run till we get to that perimeter. Is the chance of misjump greater the closer you are, or is it always you have to always roll lower than 3?
Once you are 90 more diameters out, so you need to travel for another 2 hours. Now at 6 minutes, That means that you will need to pass 20 turns of potential laser fire, and they travel, I think, at 4 or 5G, so they will intercept you before you can make it that far. That's actually, I'm sorry, that's not true. They are over here. They do have like 20 rounds of whatever laser fire on you, and they have multiple batteries because they're a cruiser.
We're at pretty good range though.
I also want to present some options here that I think you would be able to see. Another option is actually going. Let me drag everything this away.
Let's say go back to Raleigh.
And there's a thing called like atmospheric braking, and you just dive for the atmosphere, and then you hit nap of the Earth, and you use the planet. So that's an option, and you could do that if you could survive some rounds of laser fire. So that's
They got to be at pretty long range for their lasers, I would think.
yes, they would be at a penalty.
Yeah, and we have auto evade, so let's just. Yeah, we have to try running. Let's try that.
All right, what do you all think? You want to try to run and dive for the planet?
Yeah, so there'd be like no way for us to, correct me, there'd be no way for us to just kind of like otherwise use the planet as a shield and still make the jump that we want to make.
You could, but because what happens is the jump drive is related to gravity, and if you jump close to a planet, there's a overwhelming probability that you'll misjump to a random parsec.
What's Coleman's thoughts?
He didn't sign up for this.
I should have stayed on that radiated dust ball.
I'm sorry, Major. I didn't realize that this isn't the cozy, noble house that you were pampered growing up in.
I mean, at least in a gambling den, I can usually see if somebody's about to stab me. You're
about to undergo the ultimate gamble.
Now, because I agree that if we let them board us, that just saying, oh yeah, you were telling the truth, you don't have cargo, they're not going to go away empty-handed, and so, now, there's also the radical idea of, could we reboard them and try to wreak havoc on their ship? I don't know what kind of crew they have.
Question.
You'd have approximately 13 turns or so to get to them that they could fire on you before you could get there, before you could do something like that.
How effective is this cannon that you have?
It is not a ship gun.
It's hard to miss point blank.
No. What I mean is, it's a terrestrial gun. I mean, Ross can correct me in this if the particular case is different, but the scale of damage is entirely different between land-based. Like, even though this is like a cannon, it's more like a Bradley. It's not like some kind of. It's like a 25mm cannon or something. It's not a. That kind of weaponry. It'll barely affect their armor, from what I understand of Traveler. Also, it's not mounted. We'd have to open up the actual cargo hold to use it. So.
I'm going to advocate we go back down into the atmosphere. Let's turn this thing around and try to evade their lasers for a couple of rounds.
Would they?
But then what?
Are they able to enter atmosphere after us?
Once to answer Chris's questions first, if you make it to atmosphere and dive to the planet, I'm going to look up the atmospheric braking rules. I think it's a pilot check. If you do it and nothing bad happens there, it'd be like a catastrophic, really risky deorbit. You're just going straight into the planet. If you can pull that off, with how fast your ship is, I'll say that it can get nap of the Earth very quickly. Once you get there, they're not going to find you. You're good. So this is a viable tactic, but there is risk involved. I'm sorry, what were you saying, AJ?
I was asking if their ship is able to enter orbit. I think you answered that, though, effectively.
Yeah, not only can these ships enter orbit, they can also go in any form of atmosphere, including radiation clouds and sea. They can go underwater. As long as it's,
You mean our ship?
Oh, yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about a cruiser, but I
have
had
to
never
be,
really even thought about that.
This is, when
streamlined,
you
whatever
say
it
a
is,
cruiser, you're talking about this is like the big bulbous, basically like the shape of a globe almost with feet.
I can give you
That's
the tonnage, but
probably going to be 800 is my guess.
yeah, I think you're right. And either way, they have a lot of gun emplacements, but they also
Yep.
want to take you alive, so there is that too. Doesn't do any good to destroy you. So anyways, auto...
I have another question.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Do we know if the Voden's Eye, our Spice Viking friends, have left the system yet?
You do not know that. You could ask.
The Voden's Eye is also no match for this thing, but the Vikings might not care.
Not that I want to risk, us getting our payment, but
Wait, no, it
if
might
we end
be.
up
It
going
might
back in,
be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
if we go back into the atmosphere and I don't succeed on that piloting check, I don't know if those are our best friends here on this horrible planet that might still be around.
Do you want to try to make a any station broadcast to see if you can reach the Voden's Eye on an open channel?
Didn't we have a comms link with
You have
with
a coordinate,
Bjorgulfsson?
unfortunately, I think.
Oh. Okay. I mean, yeah, we might as.
Okay, so let me frame the options, okay, and
Yeah.
then let's do a vote so we can make a decision. So, one option is to just make a dead run. Now, mathematically, you have an overwhelming chance of getting knocked out of the stars, and then they just scuttle your ship on that. Another option is to try to do some kind of trickery, invite them on board, try to kill them, try to use the gun, try to, maybe lure the ship closer, use the gun just at a single point, maybe only use it at the boarding party, try to do some kind of trickery, and then turn things around and make a gamble where all of a sudden you're boarding a pirate cruiser and taking it over or some crazy thing like that. That, by the way, would be the book's option. That's exactly what he would recommend if he were here. And then finally, perhaps the other option, or you could actually just try to negotiate with them, and maybe it'll be fine. They're like, you're not worth our time, and they take some money and leave. Maybe they take the ship though, and then they press you into a press gang. Lastly, you can dive for the planet and try to get occluded by the planet's circumference as fast as possible while they're coming the other way. I'll give them 2 rounds of laser fire. Is the auto evade software already loaded?
No, we will have had the calculate,
Generate and navigate, right?
generate and navigate.
Okay. So it will take 1 round to load auto evade, so you will not have it the first round.
Yeah.
So you'll take 2 rounds. With auto evade, what is the target that they need to meet?
It applies a -2.
So it's 6. Okay,
Now,
so
Could we stall for
They're
one
already.
round?
I'm sorry, it'd be 10.
You said.
Them again?
go ahead. Sorry.
If we need it to take 1 round to load up, to be ready for us to use it, could we stall for a round by talking to them again, by reopening communications? And I don't know what we would say, but
Seems really risky, but tell me how you think you do it, and also, lastly, well, first of all, it sounds like we're doing the last option. Is that right, Major?
The diving for cover is that?
Does that sound?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, there's sure death, probable death, and then possible death. So
We're gonna go with possible today. All right, cool.
every day there's
If that's the
possible
case, then what do you all think about open broadcast on a general frequency to gain the attention of the Space Viking freighter, the Voden's Eye? The Voden's Eye has sandcasters. I think I said it has a missile launcher, and it has 2 pulse lasers. But there's no guarantee they'll answer, and you might catch someone else's attention. and also the pirate vessel will hear that. It also takes time. It'll take like several minutes for the transmission to reach.
Here is another risky option. Y'all have a warrant on you. Is there any law enforcement that y'all could contact in order to add some extra chaos and maybe scare away this cruiser? It'd be a different kind of heat on us.
I mean, I think this thing would outclass most of what this planet could throw at us. Just because, based on what we learned in previous sessions, but I think our best option might just be the simplest of dive for cover and not do anything else but that. But that would be my.
We would basically have one round where we don't have the evasion software running, and then on the second round we'd have it.
They'll hit on an 8 to target a random system the first round and a 10 on the second round. And if you make it after 2 rounds or approximately 15 minutes of flight, you'll make it into the atmosphere. And then I'm going to look up the rules for atmospheric braking.
Didn't you say they were going to be at a penalty, though, for the range?
I'm sorry, that's right, because they are over here, which puts them at 350,000 kilometers. Good point.
So, yeah.
And are we going to rule out the possibility of trying to stall for that first round so that we can have our software loaded up for both rounds of escaping?
While they're at this range, it's almost like having the software. But every round after this, they're just going to be gaining on us.
I could try to confuse them and with my brogue. Niall's not a very charismatic person, but if I could just absolutely baffle them, maybe.
We'll just make a break for it. If you can transmit them like a text message, just be like, "Eat our shorts." I wouldn't mind saying that on our way out, but
what if I send something like this? Where's the chat?
What does it say? I can't bring it up.
It's all right, Pirate Cruiser. This is the King of Mercy. Don't kin your last call. We have no cargo and net no value.
what?
Make a. So I feel like this would be difficult. So roll 2d6 to get under your social. No, wait. No, this is clever. Do under your intelligence.
That is a 5, and I have an intelligence of 10.
You send that right away. They're waiting for your response. This takes time, so this takes a round. These transmissions, they don't arrive right away. So you wait, you get it back, and there's confusion, so you gain 1 round. And then I'm trying to look up some mathy things I need for this.
All right, so the program's loaded now?
Yeah, the program is loaded if you want it to be.
Are the calculations made? You said we've been traveling for a couple hours.
You mean for the jump?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that if you want. If you want to attempt to jump. Now.
No. I'm just making sure that we don't have to load generate again.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'll say. Yeah, you've already generated it, so that makes sense.
Okay, so we can keep auto evade on, and we've already got navigate, so it's just a matter of running.
Right. There's an intercom system on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna just let all of our passengers know that Captain Bellamy accidentally left the oven on back on Raleigh, so we have to turn around real quick. We're gonna go down into atmosphere. Fire up that software while we're at it.
Gosh dang it, I can't find the, let's see, attacker, game sequence, intruder, hit, critical hit, scale. Ah, here it is, 25 and 50. Well, that's still not helpful. But I'm just going to pick one for now, because It's been a while. It's been a while. So let's see. It's greater than 25 bands, so it's at a -2, so it's a total of -4. They will have to, let's say an 8+, they will have to get a 12 to be able to hit you. So, here it
I
goes.
can try to call them again and stall them.
They got an 8. They miss you. And another 6,000 seconds passes. And you are occluded by the planet, and the planet grows much larger, relatively speaking. Whoa! And all of a sudden, the ship starts shaking as you make this very risky entry into orbit. It says atmospheric braking. Ship's let's see. Oh. This is just for reducing the vector length. So you slow down as soon as you smack into the atmosphere. I still feel like this is going to be a check. I did announce that. I think it makes sense. So you just have to make a regular pilot check. If you have any
Gotcha.
modifiers, you can apply those, of course.
Alright, pilot 1 and dexterity 10. Would either of those modify this?
Yeah, you could get it on a 6.
Gotcha. Or higher, I hope.
Yeah, 6 or higher.
I got it on 7.
Nice. All right. So you do this risky deorbit, and you can feel the ship just like feels like it's going to tear itself apart, and then like the ground is just like hurtling up at you, and you do this jackhammer where like, and then all of a sudden you're just like getting thrown into your seat through the deceleration as you push as much G's as possible to keep this thing from slamming into the surface of the world. You manage to do so, almost like it's falling like a tower, and then all of a sudden it just like does this parabola before it hits the surface at about 10,000 feet. After going about 25,000 feet per minute, it just goes, and then you gain air again, and then you get back to 1G, and you're in the atmosphere. And yeah, at this point you can just hit the deck, and it would be easy enough to find something that would keep you from being seen.
Where are we?
That is a great question. Let's take a look where you are.
Right in the middle of the Iterati control zone, surrounded by.
We just toasted the Baron's breakfast, I hope. Oh, he's all the way on. He's on another planet, so.
Let's take a quick look here.
It strikes me now, maybe we could have asked to buy some of their cargo.
Pirates?
We really need work, actually. Can we just work for you? You don't have to take us over. We'll just join you, actually. It's pretty rough out here.
Do you have any goods that need to be fenced?
That ship has jump 3. Like, you take passengers, or...
All right. Bring up my map. Let's see. Where did you... Oh, interesting. I don't know that it matters, but you're in the ocean. I mean, you're not in the ocean, but you're over the ocean. In fact, you probably could have just went in the ocean to keep from being seen.
Let's do that. We've done that before. We'll do it again.
Okay, you go underwater. And that is where you are now. And you are no longer seen by this vessel. You get some nice ocean views going here. There we go.
So how do we get off this planet?
They're probably gonna be up there waiting, right?
Wait for the next guys to take off from the spaceport and watch them,
We should send a signal. Somehow. maybe bounce it around and, hide its source or something like that. But we ought to warn the spaceport.
Port that has a
Is
warrant
there-
for our arrest, or
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
Can you do
one.
that anonymously at all?
That's
Well,
a good mark.
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, Marcello might be able to. Well, he's not here. Anybody else got anything? Any computer skill? One of the majors?
no.
I mean, I would apply a mechanical skill to being able to tinker with the actual the comms transmitter. I might provide a complication for that, but
I mean, I have some mechanical training, so I could do.
I'll make you a deal with the devil. I'll give you 3 options. The first option is that you could attempt to just transmit it. I'll make a roll on my end. You won't know the result. Depending on the transmission, people might be able to find your location. The second option is that you could go out in a vac suit and make an adjustment to the transmitter directly. And then the last option is you could attempt a difficult roll one time. It'd be very difficult. That would be use your mechanical one. You need to get a 10 plus.
Okay.
Well, it was just a thought. It's a little bit of my conscience.
I mean, I feel like the good deed can go in your favor. I feel like that'd be good. If we send the call, they know where we are, but they won't know where we will be, right? So we got to keep moving. But
Yeah, maybe we send a call. You know what? We can target a transmission, can't we? We can just do like a tight beam or something like that.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Straight. Let's contact that so and so over at dang it.
Golan?
Yeah, over in Golan, but the name of the company always escapes me.
Nanteri Holdings.
Nanteri.
Around.
I mean, that guy, at least, even if it's broken, he seemed to have some kind of a conscience, and he used to be a traveler, so maybe he'll find a way to get it to the right people. We can just make it a single transmission. We don't have to talk to him live or anything. Just package something up and send it along, and then be on our way.
All right. What do you all think about that?
I prefer
Game
to
for
stay
it.
quiet, but I mean, I don't have too big of a concern about it.
Captain
I mean-
Bellamy, both in and out of character, I'm willing to put it up to a vote.
Yeah. So, all right, we got one for sending a message to Nanteri Holding. We've got one for trying to make a gambit to see if it could modify the transmitter in some way.
Oh, sorry, I meant for a vote to do anything or nothing.
I think everybody's agreed to do something. I think, yeah. That so far, but what do you think, Niall? Work with a shady past partner, or take the risk of transmitting it in some way with possibly altering the signal?
your gut was to call this guy. I think we should listen to your gut.
Okay, and then Chapman.
I agree. I think that's a nice compromise, is just reaching out to the Nanteri guys.
All right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, if you, who is that on comms? Niall? Niall, if you send out a tight beam transmission, ultimately you're not going to know necessarily. Even if you receive something, it's going to be some sort of query, so you're not going to know if it works, but the whole point is to try to do your part, so we'll see.
What do we do from here? Do we just wait for few hours and leave, a day then leave? Do we, do we move somewhere else? What's the next step?
My instinct is to say we stay put unless we went into the ocean within clear sight of land or something like that. Like, if there was like a seaside resort and people in their deck chairs could have seen us splash down, or if it was just out in the middle. If we feel like we're relatively isolated, I say just stay put for a day.
How will that hit our calendar? Are we gonna be like mid-jump when the toll comes due, or?
A day won't matter too much. One jump takes almost a full week.
Okay.
So, and it's like a little bit of margin on the week. It could be longer, it could be a little shorter.
Gotcha.
And we have roughly a month before payday, or
We got about 3 weeks, I think.
okay.
Or no, would you say 3 jumps, 4 jumps? I can't remember.
4
what you
jumps,
said.
I think, actually.
Yeah. So in addition to which, we've got more than enough fuel to keep operations going. I think for another week and most of 2 weeks. So
Amazingly, the terrorist attack at the starport was just 2 days ago in game time.
that is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh man.
So is everybody okay
All
with
right.
that? Staying here for
What's
for a
one
day?
more day spent underwater, I guess? We've seen every sight this planet has to offer at this point.
Just
Niall
about.
heaves a sigh and slides his sword back in the scabbard.
Fly me closer so I can hit them with my sword.
I'll offer Niall a sparring match in the empty cargo hold.
I will
Nice.
offer Coleman a bet that Bellamy is going to kick his ass.
all of
No,
the
I'll take whatever action. I am a gambler, so
Yeah, all of the relief workers having arisen terrified underwater, having no idea what's going on, pretty sure that their lives were in danger, and then they say, well, let's do some sparring practice, and then you start taking bets, are absolutely terrified, and they wish to be off this ship. Anyways, one thing that you could do if you want is you could scoop water and then crack it and have the fuel processor work on it for a day to top
We're
yourself
full,
off.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I think if anything, we're missed. I think
It'll
like you said,
give
it's
you,
been
like-
2 days.
It'll literally give you 2 days. That's what it'll do in case something were to happen for some weird reason. So, all right.
As well.
Yeah, and then you arise back out of the water and head back into the black? Is that the plan?
We're not going to resolve our sparring match.
Say Niall's gonna send a message to Coleman and be like, "Hey, what are the odds?"
I mean, guy with a big sword, brawny guy. I'm gonna bet on him.
All right.
How many credits do I have to actually bet? This is a tradition for us. This is how we get to know new folks on our ship. Is through the celebrated art of gambling
And sword fighting.
and occasionally sword fighting.
How do y'all want to do it? Do you want to just do a roll-off, or do you want a gambling game, or what do you want? Or do you want to use the gambling rules from Startown Liberty, or what?
Let's just do it like the duel that we fought before with other dude, except I won't be shoving my blade through his throat at the end of it, hopefully.
Sure. No, I'm in the gambling part, where the two are
Oh.
placing bets on you.
I was just gonna do 100 credits, and I say Bellamy
Oh,
will win.
yeah, of
You say
course.
that
Okay, I'll take
I'll win.
100 credit action on that.
The aid workers do not participate. Lothak is really interested, but she doesn't have any money. You all don't pay her. No one's actually gotten paid for whatever that's worth. You have a group pool to try to cover things, and you don't know that you'll ever be able to pay your bills, so no one's ever actually gotten a payday so far. You guys don't know that. But anyways, all right, yeah, let's just chuck 3 rounds of D6s and burn through
All
some
right.
endurance.
This is how you get paid on this ship, is by winning gambles.
Let's see. Where's my?
And then what? Oh, everybody's in a vac suit, so that's one person has a broadsword and the other one has a cutlass.
Cutlass, yeah.
If you all would do the math.
Yeah, let me try to pull up the chart.
So I've got a cutlass of. I'm at a +4 overall.
Versus cloth.
Well, I don't know. I just mean my raw rolling with my I get the strength bonus for the cutlass, and I have a cutlass skill of 2.
Okay. Well, a cutlass versus cloth is at -3.
Okay, so +1 overall. So I've only rolled one, so that's 12. And you rolled a 12? You rolled a 6, a 9, and 11.
Yeah, and oh, you get 2 11s and an 8. Ugh.
I think I lost.
Yeah, and we'll say that it takes the damage, but it won't kill you or hurt you or whatever. So
Oh, yeah,
you roll
yeah.
for damage, obviously.
I'm trying to find the table. Sorry.
Oh, what
Cloth.
you-
I found it.
I
Broadsword
think you have a
versus
+1.
cloth is 0.
Oh, 0. Right?
Because I don't think I actually have any skills in broadsword, correct?
You have a +1 to broadsword.
+1. Okay.
Yeah, because you.
I don't think I rolled anything that gave me a blade.
Oh, we never did that. Do you want to roll for that?
What do you mean? I don't think I got any.
We never
blade
rolled
results.
we never rolled your obsession, did we?
Oh, no.
Roll
We
a
didn't.
2d6.
Oh, that's a 1, and that's another. A 5
right.
and a 6.
You got it. So you got broadsword 1, and if you want to take rifle, you'll have rifle 4.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Cool.
Rifle 4. Good lord.
He does this one thing really well.
Wow. Wow.
He's also really smart. He's got some interesting things. Yeah.
Okay, so broadsword 1, so yeah, then I'd be at a +1. So
Being an army guy, as he just found out, was not super useful in outer space, where his sword and smarts and tactics and APC driving skills aren't super useful.
so
All right. So is that the end of it, or
what is the result? I don't know.
did you want us? Sorry, did you say you wanted us to roll damage just to figure out?
Yeah, so let's see. Did you already? So AJ rolled first. You got a 6, a 9, and you have to hit at
an 11.
An 11. Okay, so you hit once. So you can roll. What is that? 4d6 for a broadsword.
3, I think, but
That's 3d6 for a broadsword.
I think so.
Scrolling through the book.
It's a 4d6 for a broadsword.
Oh my god. Oh, for a broadsword. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought because it's so ridiculous. It's 1 dice less than a laser cannon. 20
That's
damage.
a high roll.
All right. And let me ask you this: who proposed this fight?
Bellamy.
All right, roll for damage, Bellamy.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we're just
I see
doing
you have an
first hit,
11.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just doing first hit. Okay.
All right. Does 6 bring you down? That's the question. If it attacks your
Endurance.
If it hits my endurance, I have. Where's my sheet?
I got it right here.
I have 7 endurance.
It does not bring him down. So Bellamy strikes first and wins him, and you have 1 round to attack, and you do on your turn, and you bring Bellamy down in a riposte with your broadsword in 1 strike.
I was gonna put money on him. Dang.
Bellamy, you
All right.
found a match. Now, in your defense, Bellamy, he does have a really stupidly gigantic sword, so there is that.
I mean, I hit often, but when I do,
Hey, my
Well fought.
captain is, tired. He was fighting a Viking earlier, so Russ,
And,
you
he,
keeping
and
track
he's
of our credit?
and he's elderly.
I will put that in the results. Let's see, who was betting on Nile?
I bet on Nile.
Okay, so let's see. Coleman got plus 100 credits,
All right.
and let's see, Chapman got minus 100 credits.
That's your first paycheck, Major. Welcome aboard.
I see. This is how I'm gonna have to earn my money.
You'll never get away from this life, admit it. All right, so
I was betting on Bellamy, so I think I lost money.
all right, let's see if your trip into space goes better this time.
Yeah. Good lord.
All right, folks, take 2.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick.
There better not be any pirates, Vikings, privateers, sailors, whatever else you find out in the ocean.
System security. I don't know if there is any system security.
Do I need to roll another navigation check?
Yeah, actually, this would be a new navigation check. You'll load all the same stuff again. You'll generate a flight plan. You'll go through all the procedures.
We
Now,
shouldn't have to generate
hold the
another flight plan.
Fair enough. Hold the results. Don't tell us the results, and don't roll it in the open, if you would, please.
Okay,
Hold your results of your navigation check, because it might be really interesting. What's that doing? What did I come here to do? Oh yeah, the starship counters. 8. Very well. You encounter nothing, just the dark. As the planet begins to fade and shrink behind you, farther and farther away for the next 5 hours, until you reach the safe jump point in space.
Hit it.
All right. And you want my results now?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
And there's a couple of other checks. Who's going to be the ship's engineer right now?
Bellamy's happy to
All right.
sit in.
It doesn't say this, but I'm going to change this. You can apply a engineering to this. No, this will be what allows you to do it, actually. But I don't see anything, because you have an engineer, you're due on maintenance, but we throw it anyways, because if you get this wrong, your ship can just die in the water. So roll a 2d6. It'd be interesting if you get a 12. The ship's drives are humming along. They're doing real well. Chapman's maneuver into the atmosphere went really well, and it didn't even stress anything out. The parity between the two drives is actually really good. The health of the engines is good.
I'll give her a pat.
Yeah.
That's a good lady.
Now, let's see. So you hear the countdown as everybody's secure for the jump, and then finally, it's not letting me. The panel, you can see space kind of like change around you, and it turns into this miasma as you enter into a pocket, a sort of alternate dimension of space, and you're here again in the jump for an unknown period of time. Is there anything that you want to do for the next week?
I think... Am I able to do my education sessions during transit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be the ideal time to do them.
I figured.
Might be
So I guess
the opposite. It would be the case is, you know, if you're in some adventure like we were on Rally, that would be lost time.
it's time to start keeping track of those. I think that is a money cost, I recall. Let's see, self-improvement, education, in general, such courses have a base price of 50 credits per week. Generally, 1 session per week is taken, although 2 per week are possible. So yeah, I could pay out 100 credits to do 2 sessions during this transit.
All right, Chapman studying. Is there anything else anybody wants to accomplish? Counsel with the you know, your passengers or with each other? Anything you need to hash out? No, everything's cool.
Well, you know,
Okay.
I mean, now that we're not a little bit under the gun, I guess I do want to follow up with Isabella on who exactly this lawyer is, since we got a week.
All right, you do that. Do you do it privately?
No, there's no more secrets. I mean, we've been together for, you know, I know it's only been a couple of days since we made Planetfall, but
I mean,
nonetheless,
buy her?
what's that?
Didn't we buy her at a slave market, technically?
True. Well, no, we didn't end up paying.
I mean,
We paid. You know what? We
You
paid
stole
the
her.
lead.
You stole her at a slave
We
market.
paid. No, we paid the lead price, right?
Yeah.
we did that for fair and squares.
Yeah, silver or lead, and we paid lead after all.
All right. So is this like a ship's meeting kind of thing? Who's all at this meeting? I have reasons I'm asking all this stuff.
I would definitely like to be on this because, you know, I wasn't expecting to be signing on as a criminal.
I think we'll have it in
I'm okay with it.
in the downstairs common room, and just invite Isabella and Velez, and then the regular crew.
Okay, that's over here, right?
No, that's the upstairs.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
It's got
passenger decks
the
above.
belly on top. Weird. All right, let me put some people in here. She feels similarly after everything that they have gone through. She also keeps no secrets from her peoples. So there's 10 of them, including Velez. And they gather and they sit down, and at this point, this has become somewhat home for them, and Marcello is no longer here to make them grilled goop and beer and make them, you know, stock expired teas and things, so they make what coffees and teas they can with what they got. And they sit and they say, all right, so Isabella says this, so Jabbar, is that right?
Yep, it's on the way to Flammarion.
Hopefully we encounter no more problems there. I somehow don't think that you left the oven on with whatever just happened when we tried to leave that planet back there.
No, we were waylaid by pirates. We barely escaped with our lives.
I guess I didn't want to know.
And that's happened more than once since y'all have been on board.
You're right, don't tell me.
Okay.
Until later, I suppose. Anyways, we're just 2 jumps away from Flammarion. I also wanted to propose, on behalf of all of us, at Debar or Flammarion or anywhere else, once Velez and I join your crew formally, as crew members of the Lady of Mercia company, free company, we can attempt to coordinate things for you. Trade deals, work with agencies, local government, any kind of organization. These are things that we're very well trained in. And out of character, they have, she has like a really high social stat. She's not a noble, but she's, and they're very intelligent. Those are the things they're good at. They're useless in a fight. Education, intelligence, and social. Those are good things they're good at.
Yeah. Well, tell us more about this lawyer.
Yes, I I have worked with him in the past. We're not exactly on the best of terms right now, but I believe we'll be able to work through it. He's named Carl Rakamundra. And Chapman, you know that name.
Frantically looking through my notes. I do I?
I don't think. I think it was something where his name was. You know his name, but I don't think I gave it. Like you. Anyways, he's the attorney that you had. He was your attorney that busted you out of jail.
Okay, he was oh, what's his name? The guy from Aliens, the slime ball.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul Reiser. Burke. It was Burke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Burke. Glad to hear it. He can get us out of anything as long as we lower our standards.
We have to lower them again?
How much is it going to cost?
All I had to do last time was just throw somebody else under the bus. Sign a right on the dotted line, claiming that I saw something that didn't really happen.
That does sound like Carl. And if I had to guess, I would say that we'll be paying in labor.
What are we going to be paying for again?
My hope is that Carl will help us act as a legal shield long enough to be able to find who is causing this and get to the bottom of what I believe is a fraud, some kind of scheme in the Iterati sector. As soon as our names are cleared at the Iterati barony, the warrant will be gone.
Okay. Well, I wonder what kind of work good old Carl has for us.
I don't know what Carl's been up to for the past, because... Oh, wait, do you say that in character? Do you mention...
Always.
No, I'm
Assume
sorry, Chapman. Do you mention that you know him? Like, yeah, okay. So she says, you know Mr. Rakamundra?
A little bit. He helped me out of a jam once, and I like to think I might have helped him out of a jam, at least by the sound of things.
I see. I had lost track of him. There was some work. He sort of migrated his way. Sort of migrated his way spinward, much like yourselves in a way. And so I wasn't sure, but I knew that he was on Flammarion. Flammarion, as you all may well know, is an imperial planet. And that brings up one of my concerns. There is a small possibility that in passing through Flammarion customs, a message may have made it out from Iterate to Flammarion in time by one of the experts. It's one of the main routes that connects the Bowman Arm to the rest of the Imperium, the Iterate sector to the domain of Deneb.
I'm going to sort of open up a data pad and have a look at my star chart and...
Yeah, let me bring up the star chart for
and
everybody
say,
else since we're kind of looking at that.
Yeah, and say, well, by my calculation, if they're going to use the network, fastest way to do that is to go back to Iterati, give a message to a boat there that jumps to Flammarion. Either way, that's a two-jump operation, and that's assuming they're making their best speed on getting the word out.
I agree. And beyond that, I don't think that any news will travel from their Raleigh colony into Iterati, be processed, and be acted on, then sent by X-boat in any due speed. I only say that there is a very small chance that this could be the case.
Yep. Well, we really, our choices are extremely limited, so I think you've given us our best chance of getting out of this mess, one way or the other, at least at the moment.
So then the plan is to simply register our vessel and go ahead and register a flight Gosh, I forgot what the department is called at the starport that does flight plans.
Say that again.
The department at starport that does flight plans. Astro.
I don't know if it's in my notes, unfortunately.
Just having a brain fart. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Um,
It's not astrographics, but anyways, the department at the starport that does flight plans and can give you world data, general world data and file a flight plan. She doesn't know you have software, so she says, we'll register, pay our fees, go through customs just as normal. Then
we can generate our own flight plans.
Oh, very handy. Very well.
All right. Well, I suppose that's really all I wanted to know is what exactly we were getting ourselves into a little bit. Once we get to Flammarion, got to get through the bar first, though.
Yes, I think it may take me a couple of days to arrange a meeting with Mr. Rakamundra.
I see.
Well, in the meantime, I have some excellent spaceport bars to recommend everyone else in the crew except for me.
Oh man. Both of you would be familiar with Flammarion, so you can assume you probably don't know about the whole Bowman Arm and all the Spinward Marches. You can know whatever you know. So if you know stuff about those worlds, then anything that's not a story spoiler or a secret, or something beyond year 1114. But both of you would know Flammarion is basically Space Vegas. It's a high port called Startown Liberty, and it is a dirty, dirty place. But you can also, it's a Class A starport, and you can buy and sell just about anything there, and you can find a job. So it's one of the main places you ended up when you came out here.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Isabella. Much appreciated.
And
go ahead.
I'd like to, ask about, her initial proposition was that, we had to pay her companions to put them up, and, what are we looking at there?
Well, a hotel stay is about 30 credits for some hotels that I can think of per night. Would it be possible is it possible to get a loan, say, for 20,000 credits?
A loan, you said?
Of course, we would pay it back and then some. We will pay off our debt. I just want to take care of my people.
Let's talk when we get to Flammarion.
Very well. And, all right.
20,000, man. We just keep bleeding.
You gotta spend money to make money.
That's what I keep believing in my soul. I don't know if I could go on otherwise.
How well do y'all trust these people, or are they a
I
flight
trust them.
concern?
I trust them. We're in the same boat, quite literally.
Does their organization have the capability of, paying back this loan if we were to make it?
I mean, I understand they run a non-profit operation, but
Yeah, actually.
Well, I think it's an NGO, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like a.
If you ask that question during that, we'll call it a crew conference. I don't know what we'll call these meetings scenes, but if you ask that question, Coleman, what they'll say, first of all, they were supposed to come to Eterade. This initially, the whole point of them going to Raleigh was to actually make money by dropping these people off, and everything kept going sideways. So that's kind of how all this started. And then when they got there, they were told that they actually didn't have a job. They didn't have any They had no commission by the Iterati colony to work there. And then, when they returned later, they were declared terrorists, and the crew of the Lady of Mercia were declared accomplices. Now, they are from, I believe I said Mora, Fornice, or something like that. And so, if you manage to make your way trailing, eventually you will get people that know who they are. But you would need to make it all the way over there for it to matter. That's about
Which is something that
80
I
light
had
years away.
wanted to do. Yeah. Yeah. Well, those are future problems.
Indeed.
Have
Alright.
y'all asked them if there's anyone who was out to like get them, or is this are they being set up, or is this just situation to situation, just coincidence? Bad fortune.
Yeah, you all weren't here for this, but everyone got set up. That was kind of what actually went down. They tried to take on a job, and then they got set up as the fall people for working with foreigners and terrorists and stuff, and they didn't actually do it. And it's both the aid workers and the crew. They all got set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, one day I'd like to have a word with that guy.
The agent that worked for Nanteri Holdings, supposedly.
Yeah. Oh boy,
Yukon?
Yukon. I'd love to have a word with that guy.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe in another life.
All right, so a week passes, and you you exit jump space. I assume you use your SOP, and you're all strapped in and in your vac suits and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. Now, if you would please, whoops, that's not what I wanted.
And remember, and I forgot, by the way, entirely, each of us forgot about the existence of the maneuver program, which is actually required to control the ship.
Oh, fair enough.
Who
Yeah,
in the
I
what
missed that
now?
too.
The maneuver program. So
You couldn't have
as when
changed
you
course for
mentioned,
the first round.
correct. The standard, the SOP for coming out of jump is maneuver and auto evade loaded.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, by the way, well, actually, you read the book, AJ, but they have like 1970s computers, so you can only load like 2 programs at a time. And there's the suite of various programs, so you can only either fly and evade, or you can generate a flight plan and jump, but you can't do all that at once. But anyways, so yeah, you exit jump, and let's roll and see what happens. First of all, the navigation roll. What did you get?
10.
A 10. All right. Went very well. So I will say that you managed to make it in 166 hours.
How far from the planet?
Take a look at the solar system in a second.
Here are my notes on Debar. Desert world, 1 spaceport, hunting ground, big game space bears. I don't remember what that means.
That's great.
Big game bears. Yeah, they got the 2-ton bears that the Imperial rich guys from Flammarion come out and do their safaris, and they got a big hunting lodge. It's basically like the spaceport and the hunting lodge.
Moment.
Even though it's a Class B spaceport, they didn't have anything worth or anything. No, did we get clothes? Did we find clothes or something crazy? I think we found.
No, Marcello went into the gift shop and perused all the various bespoke bear products, but there wasn't anything of interest. It was just...
Coleman, do you think if I dare Niall to go out and hunt bears with his broadsword, he'll do it?
I'd rather he do it with his rifle.
Yeah.
Probably use rifle. Yeah.
apparently,
He's very direct, but he's not dumb.
apparently now you can just like vent the Atmo in the cargo bay and just have him there in a vac suit and stick his gun out the ship, and he can just take out the cockpit.
It's like that episode of Firefly.
Yeah. All right. So, DeBar is a.
The Bears, exactly.
It is a single star system with a dwarf star, and there are 9 planets and a gas giant. I'm sorry, there are 6 planets and a gas giant and 2 asteroid belts, 2 system asteroid belts, so quite large asteroid belts with dwarf planets, and DeBar is the closest to the sun, so you drop not that, so 166 hours, and you make it within let's see here. Sustainable world. So it's you make it within gotta get a calculator out. It's been a while since I had all this down last time, and then we haven't been in space in a while, so I've kind of. Yeah, okay. You make it 2 million kilometers away. I'm sorry, 1.5 million kilometers away. So it's 7 hours. So pretty dang close to right within the safe jump distance. It was a pretty good, not perfect, but pretty dang good jump that made it pretty close to where you wanted to go. And so you can detect some specific information about the planet, your sensors from where you are. It's a little bit further away than that. We'll make it smaller, but I'll put it out on the edge of the radar screen. And then, what do you do as soon as you come in? As soon as you arrive in system? Oh, that didn't show up.
Scan.
You scan right away. Okay. You scan the system, you find what I had mentioned. I can give you more information. I think you have a ship's library, but you don't have it loaded,
No.
right? You do not have a ship's library.
I had to forego the library in favor of the generate program.
Gotcha. Okay. The nearest planet is a barren moon, which is about 450. I'm sorry, it's about 350 million kilometers away. It would take you 2 or 3 days to get there under 1G. You don't detect anything nearby for the first couple of hours. Is there anything else you want to do as soon as you arrive in system? No? Okay. Now, after 2 hours, so you're now about 5 hours away from the planet, and you are entering the not safe jump range. Like you're entering 100 diameters away from the planet, where you would start being penalized to attempt to jump if you tried to depart. And the details of the world become more clear, and a ship appears on radar and does not transmit anything. It is a 200-ton trader.
Is there like a wave or handshake kind of thing we can do? Say hi?
You could transmit. You could also ident or beacon your transponder to torch out to say, "Hey, look, I'm here." That would be omnidirectional, however. Or you could do multiple different types of signals, including those that would be received as just a message.
Well, it's a trader. Are they leaving or arriving?
Sorry, good question. Their vector indicates that they're coming towards you and leaving the planet of Debar.
Let's contact them and see if what's good there. Anything good for sale?
Anything we should be warned about?
Who's the comms officer? Is Niall?
Oh.
Yep, I'll
Right.
open a channel and kind of ask just that, like, hey, how's the flying? How's the road?
Quite rudely, they alter their vector, and they avoid you, and they don't respond.
More room for us.
I'm ready to find out that the space bears took over the whole planet. Things just get worse and worse.
Moon bears.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine bears the planet.
Some junkie trader went down in the woods. I don't know.
All right, another 2 hours pass. Nothing else happens. The planet of Debar looms larger. It only has a low port, so you'll need to actually enter the planet's atmosphere. So once you get close enough to the planet, you are now within 1 diameter of the planet. It would now be very high risk to attempt a jump here. You're about to enter the atmosphere when you receive a call from the starport. Traffic approach vector for starport Debar. This is Debar Control. Please identify with your transponder code and announce, welcome to Debar.
Cap, did we do it?
No choice.
All right. We'll show identification and answer the hail.
All right, you send your transponder code, oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's it.
All right. After you announce yourself and send your transponder code, they say, Lady of Mercia, free trader, welcome to Debar. You're cleared to land pad 3. And this is all happening as you're beginning your deorbit and your entry, into the atmosphere.
This one will be smoother than last time. Don't worry, guys.
In Mongoose 2, you actually technically are supposed to make a check every time. So, I don't know if everybody does it every single time, but
Yeah.
I think it would be funny because you have the effects, right? So you could have an effect that could tell the referee something's going on, which would be funny. Okay. All right, let's see here. Debar. I need to get a spaceport thing up. Alright. You land on the pad. Debar is a heavily forested planet. You can see
I
that.
can't see anything, by the way. If you have anything on the screen, I don't see anything.
I'm sorry, let me see if I can fix that. Well, you should be able to.
I see a yellow image or yellow colored spaceport.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's not letting me move it for some reason. Weird.
Me neither. Oh, there we go.
Yep. I see it now.
Well, anyways, as you enter Debar's atmosphere, you can see that Debar is a heavily forested planet. It's got a thin atmosphere, but it also exists at a standard 1G. The starport is very well developed. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump away, several days away at 1G from the nearby gas giant. But this place is otherwise mostly apparently uninhabited. You can see beyond the forests far off on the horizon vast tracts of desert with a invasive clay that mixes with the atmosphere, causing the skies to be a terracotta, as if a paintbrush were terracotta mixed with a vibrant green in the atmosphere. You can see that this dust from the distant deserts wafts heavily and lays on the forest canopy, causing a kind of what do you call it? A taint. It's be toxic.
haze.
It's toxic. And anyways, let's see. You land on the starport, and things are also, the starport itself is this geometric design, and it hangs over top of a bunch of the forest, as if it's just this looming cliff that's hundreds of feet across, and it just hangs out into the air hundreds of feet over the forest floor, with rocks and cliffs and waterfalls underneath it. You land on a pad, and what is your goal here? I'll describe some things, and then you can tell me if you want to do anything here in Debar. I suppose one question is, do you even want to leave the ship? Or do you just want to pay your berthing fee and get gassed up and just head out? That's the first question.
We gotta look for cargo. I know there's not a large chance, but
Okay.
we gotta look for something.
So you're going to disembark. You're going to leave the ship. Okay. So as soon as you leave the ship on the pad and enter through the umbilical into the apron, into the starport, they call it the hunt port, and you can see signs everywhere. Except this place is mostly vacant. But you can see that the interior is decorated in places to look like a lodge, with fake synthetic wood and stuff everywhere. There is a long corridor of these aprons that could accommodate all sorts of starships. And I'm sorry I forgot to mention this. There are 4 starships that are docked here. You could see them on the way in. A 400-ton merchant ship, a 200-ton, some oddly shaped ship that you probably couldn't identify just from your approach. Unless somebody tried to make a check on it or something. And another 400-ton trader. And you can see as you leave the aprons, there's like a customs area, but the customs area doesn't have it doesn't act as a barrier. Instead, it acts like the way a metro would work, where you would descend down into the customs, and that would allow you to leave the starport if you wanted to. But if you stay up on the starport, there is a coffee shop, a gift shop, the astrographics place where you can get information, or file flight plans. There's a TAS here. If anybody has a TAS membership, there's a bar, and that's all you see here.
Would I be able to get data on the that outgoing trader from the astrographics?
You can get basic data just from the departures board. That's also as you. The answer is yes. Basically, yes. You can see the ships that are coming and going. If they offer things, you're looking for the merchant vessel.
The one that we were sort of on an intercept course with that kind of blew us off when we hailed them.
Oh, okay. No, they left. Yeah. You would need to ask around. The primary way of getting information is going to the bar.
Okay.
I'm already on my way.
Let's stick together.
Okay.
You want to go in the bar?
The bar and the bar.
The bar. Anyways, sorry.
It's the bar.
Lose points for that.
DB squared.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this bar, it is, let me find it here. It's called the Atlantic Route Trading Lounge. And this is a bar for travelers. It is a bar that kind of emphasizes starflight and ships and all kinds of doodads and task symbols and imperial stuff. There's all kinds of paraphernalia on the walls and hanging from the ceilings of like a Beowulf trader just like yours. And yeah, it's like it's a traveler themed bar. And there are only 2 groups of people in here right now hanging out at the bar. There are wait, no, I'm wrong. There are let's see. There are 3 groups of people. There's 6 people that are clearly off-duty cops. They're still in uniform. There are 4 travelers, and you know it because they're wearing vac suits like you. They just got off a ship, so they're wearing all their trappings of being a traveler. And then there's a table of 4 aliens. And you can tell me if you've ever seen these aliens, if your character has. They do operate in this part of space, but you've probably heard of them. They're called Aslan. And they sort of look like these like hulking, like hunched, mossy, furry, hairy things with long proprioceptors that jut out from their face and ears and arms and places. And you can hear a vibrating humming sound that is sort of like them speaking to each other. And just slight movements.
One second.
What do you? I'm gonna toss the ball over to Nal. What are you thinking?
I'm mostly thinking if this is a lodge that caters to military officers going on hunting expeditions for dangerous prey, I'm wondering if maybe they might have something here that you can't get other places. Like, I don't know, like electronic sites or something like that.
Who do you ask about that?
I mean, what better place in a bar than the bartender?
All right, let me check on the bartender. Whoa. Let's see here.
Did Isabel and her party stay on the ship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I were to invite them to accompany us, would that change their minds?
Isabella and Velez would accompany you, but all the rest of them are pretty skittish after everything they've been through.
Fair enough. Well, we have to, if they're going to be permanent members of our crew, Isabella and Velez have to be accommodated with our standard operating procedure.
Indeed. Yeah.
They have to go through our hazing rituals, if you will. You don't have to start by throwing your first punch at those cops over there, but you'll win a lot of points if you do.
Nice. Yep, that is a way to start the campaign out. Yeah, so the bartender there, Nal, it's a male. Now, the thing about Volani humans and humans in the galaxy in general is there's a bit of a controversy about what makes a human and what makes a person. And humans are so drastically different depending on where they're from that in some cases they stop resembling humans. And the bartender you have in front of you here is like that. He's got a strange, square, misshapen face with green hair and opalescent eyes that have a kind of reptilian quality to them. Nonetheless, he wears a classy 1970s. What do you call the? I keep asking what 1970s wear is. It keeps weirdly coming up in all my games. I don't know why. I know it's a leisure suit, but it's the. Yeah, I guess a leisure suit, just like the jacket with the shirt. And he's got a classy outfit he's wearing, and
Okay.
yeah, and he
Caller
sees
goes
you
out to
approach and he
hear.
says, hey there, traveler. What can I get for you?
Well, something for maybe something to drink, something, just clean water or something. And I was wondering, like, what any of the shops have anything good around here? You know, I'm trying to work on honing my edge, and I hear there's some hard game out here, and I was wondering if there's some hard tools for that hard game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Trying to get that hard game? Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, listen.
Does he know what you mean?
No, I was just smiling and nodding.
All right, look. If you want to go big game hunting, you have to know somebody. This is just a trading port. This is for ships to come and go and sell fuel. Now, you got to leave the starport and go down to the hunting lodge, but you won't get in unless you know somebody, because they're all a bunch of bigwigs. Now,
How big are we talking? Are we talking like generals, or are we talking majors, or?
we're talking knightly orders, Knights of the Imperium.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, you know, we're nothing to these people. He assumes that you're lowly. He doesn't even ask.
He assumes correctly.
And he says, now, you didn't hear it from me, but I wouldn't waste any time worrying about these shops around here and all the little crap that they peddle. This is just a through flight place. But I don't know if you can tell, but I like travelers. So, if you're looking for anything special to buy, you know, if you're looking for any special deals, you know, that maybe make you an extra buck or something, well,
Captain's ears perk up.
don't you know, he might be able to hook you up.
Done?
Yeah, it's me. I'm Done. It's my name.
Well, we'll donate. You know, we happen to be a little tight and looking to be a little heavier in the wallet, and you know, maybe you've heard of some cargo that needs delivering, or some I don't know that we're not in the market for work that needs to be doing, just cargo that needs hauling, right?
You have found an illicit trader. And now, this is an example where I was saying the captain doesn't always have to do this. This can be somebody else that does this. This is where you can play the trading minigame. So, let's see here.
I don't know that I'm the best person to be doing this, but
6-5. Five. Okay, 5.
Sorry, I've been muted. Yeah, admin and streetwise are the skills, the operative skills for
And you can of course
finding
bring somebody
cargoes.
in on stuff if you want, but
I have neither, so.
He says there was a ship that came through here a while back, and I happen to know that there was some stuff left out on the docks, and that ship never came back. It's not been back for 3 months. Now, there is tech in that shipment, and if somebody were to, just take one of the loaders at night and maybe talk to the local union and make them turn a blind eye, then somebody might be able to, I don't know, pay some credits for that shipment.
Great.
What do you say to that now?
I think that sounds like definitely sounds like an opportunity. And I'll how much is it for like a drink?
For food, if I recall correctly, I think it's like 30 credits for food.
It's like 30.
It's rough out here. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I
Oh,
think
no.
that sounds a little. I thought it was 10 for drink. 10. I thought it was 20.
Yeah, no, that's right. But we'll go with 10 actually. 10 credits.
Okay. I'll slide him 30 then, 3 times the cost for payment for the drink and the food.
All right.
Mark that off.
Let's see. Here.
For the information.
While this conversation is going on, I'm going to kind of keep my eyes on those off-duty cops just to make sure they're not overhearing things. Or
Yeah, so far they're oblivious, but if
Okay.
something were to happen and the wrong string were cut, all of a sudden that could change.
Yeah.
But this would be a $40,000 modified all-terrain vehicle shipment, and there are 3 of them. 40,000, and there are 3 tons. It is a tech that could be used by militants. Could be used by, could be militarized.
We don't want that to fall into the wrong hands.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And basically, he's suggesting if you're willing to pay him, he can make sure that the dock workers turn a blind eye and you can get your ship loaded.
I think this is the call for the captain.
Yeah.
But that's where we'll end the adventure for the night. Mythic Traveler is a space western merchant classic traveler campaign in the Mythic Mountains RPG Play Club. The music's by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech and Greg Gibson with Timberzeal. Classic Traveler is one of the first tabletop role-playing games, and the first sprawling space simulator game ever created by Mark Miller and Games Designer Workshop. You can find the free facsimile rules of Classic Traveler by Far Future Enterprises in the description. Mythic Mountains RPG is an online play club that focuses on folk RPGs. Those are the RPGs that aren't run or controlled by some huge corporation, and they don't have some set way to play and ain't nobody can tell you how you can play them. We play them however is the right way, and that's the way we want to do it. The table is the authority. We upload our games weekly on YouTube for everyone to enjoy and sit in without performances, fancy equipment, or monetization. It's just a group of people playing folk RPGs our way. You're welcome to join us, but until then, be safe out there between jumps.